Welcome to Health Coach for Women, a podcast where we explore alternative and holistic solutions to better health and wellness through intentional living. Now, here's your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker.
Hello and welcome back. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Health Coach for Women, a podcast where we explore alternative and holistic solutions for better health and wellness. And I'm your host, Marsha. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I have an interesting topic, which I've talked about before, right? And it is on the topic of SAD, Seasonal Affective Disorder, that people experience. Now, people experience this during the fall and winter months through the season of change, when seasons are changing, right? But first, I have a quote for you. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if only one remembers to turn on the light. And that's by J.K. Rowling. I like this quote because we have to remember to turn on the light. So what does turn on the light mean? Well, we can take that in different ways, right? We got to remember to turn on the light. Remember that we are not alone. Remember that there are resources, right? That you're not in it alone, even though you may feel alone, right? Turn on the light bulb moment in our heads to really think, right? And change our thoughts and behavior. And of course, I know that this is hard when you're actually feeling that moment of depression, right? But remembering you're not alone. So that is why I'm discussing this topic here today. 5 life-changing hacks to overcome seasonal depression this winter. All right, so let's just jump right on into it. All right, and before we get started, hit that like button, share, and subscribe. So what is SAD? What is SAD? Have you ever felt that, by the way? A question. Have you ever noticed a sudden drop in your mood or even your energy as the days get shorter and colder? Have you ever noticed that? Do you feel like that often? Do you notice that you feel that way only during the seasonal change when we're transitioning into fall and winter? I don't know. It's possible you may be suffering from a case of SAD, Seasonal Affective Disorder. All right. So what exactly is SAD? What exactly is it, right? So seasonal affective disorder, it is a form of depression and it occurs around the same time every year. So if you experience having this every time you go into the season changes, it's possible you may be affected and you may have SAD, right? During the fall and the winter months is when this occurs, right? Because naturally there is less sunlight. And SAD affects people, right, in where there are winter days and short short overcast, right? So, what exactly causes this? What exactly causes? First, let me get into some of the symptoms, right? You can feel depressed energy and fatigue. You may have difficulty concentrating or remembering things. You can also have changes in your sleep and your appetite. Physical aches and pains, headaches, cramps, or digestive problems. You may even have thoughts of death or suicide. You may have the loss of interest and pleasure in activities that you normally would enjoy. And you can also experience feelings of hopelessness, worthiness, and irritability, right? So what is it actually? What is SAD? Okay. SAD is where your body is actually going through this chemical changes that's going on in the body, right? It's linked to several factors, right? With the reduced sunlight, it can disrupt your body's internal clock, which we call our circadian rhythm, right? And it can lead to these feelings of depression. The reduced exposure to the sunlight can also reduce our serotonin levels, right? Which is a brain chemical that affects mood and increases melatonin, right? And lack of it can lead to feelings of feeling tired and fatigued. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. Now, what are some other things? Let's see what is actually going on. So, as these chemical changes occur, right? It can lead us to these feelings, right? These feelings of hopelessness, feeling tired and fatigued. So now the important thing to know here is being able to notice it, right? Experience and start paying attention. We need to pay attention to our bodies. I say this all the time that we really need to pay attention to our bodies, right? Our bodies shows us signs and symptoms of things that can be going in our bodies when we're not paying attention, right? But we need to pay attention. And experiencing sad or any other form of depression or mental health issue is not something to be ashamed of, right? It's not something to be ashamed of because even I myself have experienced this, right? And I have experienced it. And when I notice it, right? When you notice, this is when you can say, okay, what can I do? I am experiencing feeling this way. What can I do to help cope and help deal with these feelings and emotions or what I'm experiencing in my body? And so I went into the symptoms, right? Now, you can also enjoy sleeping too much, right? So some of the things are not only just having that low energy, but you can like sleeping too much and crave carbohydrates, right? Which can lead to weight gain during this time of winter blues, right? It can significantly affect your life. And so that's why I want to go into these 5 hacks that you can overcome seasonal depression, these 5 life-changing hacks. So let's jump right into it. Get as much natural sunlight as possible, right? Make time to get some time during the daylight hours to be in the sunlight. And now they also have sunlight therapy, little light machines that you can keep in your home, right? And that leads me into the next one, right? So when you can't get as much natural sunlight as possible, you can try alternatives such as light therapy, right? This light therapy box, it actually imitates natural sunlight, and it can be a powerful way to improve your mood and energy level. So you can sit in front of this light for about 20 to 30 minutes a day, and it can make a huge difference. There's different machines. I will, of course, do reviews, and you can also do your due diligence, look into a machine that will be beneficial for you. I actually haven't used them. I love the natural sunlight, right? I love natural sunlight. That's why for me in the morning, I'm always opening up the blinds. I don't like it dark. I need light coming in, even if it's not the sun that's out, but daylight. I must see daylight, right? Exercising regularly, right? Now, yesterday, this is so funny. Over the weekend, what I did, this is pre-recorded, of course. Over the weekend, my husband and I, we went walking in the park. So we went walking in the park and we decided to go up and take a look at the overlook where this park is in our neighborhood and going up the stairs. So it was intense. I took my time. It was intense. And I was like, I think I need to do some more upcline regularly. Okay. But we did that and we enjoyed the walk and it was good. So we need to make sure that we are exercising regularly, right? We need to make sure that we aim for at least 30 minutes a day, right? At least 3 times a week. We have to make sure that we are doing these things for the body. This is how we nourish the body, nourish the cells, getting the oxygen that we need, right? We need to also stay socially connected. Why is that important? Why is staying socially connected important? A lot of times when you experience being depressed, you may want to isolate yourself, right? And I know I've done it, right? And I've talked about these things before. You may want to isolate yourself. And people think, oh, you just don't call. People may think, oh, you're not a type of person that maybe you don't call people as often, but you don't know, or vice versa, right? You don't know what someone is going through. When someone is going through their period of depression, they're in their own world. They're not thinking about other things outside of what's happening in their world and how they are feeling right now in that moment, right? So the thought of thinking of connecting with family and friends may not be something that they may think about right away. But this is why staying socially connected is important. During these times, you're more likely to stay indoors, right? But you can have a support group of your family and friends that can help you uplift your spirits, right? That can help you lift your spirits up. So you may want to do that. And it's important to do that and connect and be around people who support you, love and support you, right? So we're not going to surround ourselves with people who harbors over negativity, focus very negative, not really positive, upbeat people. You want to be around positive people that's going to help you lift your spirits, right? So that's what you want to do. You want to stay connected. Even if you just, I don't know if you're on social media, you may want to refrain from social media. Social media can be kind of ugly sometimes, but if you have friends that you communicate with, definitely communicate with your friends. If you're not able to speak to them maybe that much over the phone, people have all these different type of work schedules, right?
If you are struggling with health issues like chronic pain, being held back by past traumas, or feeling overwhelmed and hopeless, please know there is hope. There is help. Transcendence, a woman's guide to healing and self-love for better health, happiness, and abundance, is a blueprint to help you get your life back and reclaim your health. Within its pages, you'll learn how to elevate your existence by shifting your mindset toward the positive, focusing your energy on what's really important, using gratitude to feel deep appreciation, changing your gene expression through epigenetics, building resilience, and living in a state of flow. Feeling love overflow within. Go beyond an ordinary life. Transcend. Buy it now.
So we want to make sure that we're staying connected with family and friends. So that's important. You may want to also consider cognitive behavioral therapy. What is that cognitive behavioral therapy? Well, I'll get right into it.
I'm so lonely. I feel down about it, but I'm afraid to meet new people because of what they'll think of me.
I've been having panic attacks. They come out of nowhere, and now I'm getting more anxious about having them.
Visiting my family is so stressful. I get angry, and then I just crash when I get home.
Everyone else has everything together. Why am I the only one that struggles? I'm just so stupid.
These are the voices of depression and anxiety.
I know. I struggled with both, and it affected my husband as well as me.
I know. I have anxiety.
I know. I've had depression.
About 1 out of every 5 people experiences a mental health problem at least once each year, and depression and anxiety are the most common. Many people are familiar with what it feels like to be sad or blue, or very worried about something. For some people, those feelings are big enough that they become hard to manage without some help. Depression, anxiety, and other mental health problems can be treated, and most of the time they can be treated very well. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is an evidence-based treatment. That means it's been proven to be effective more often than most other types of therapy. It's pretty simple, really. What we think and what we do can influence how we feel. For instance, if you have a relationship breakup and think, nobody will ever love me again, you might be less likely to go out and meet new people. And over time, you may get isolated and lonely. That pattern can lead to depression and hopelessness. So in CBT, we can practice new ways of thinking. Trained therapists teach us to change our thoughts. We would work to say something like, I'm really sad that relationship didn't work out, but I still have friends and may meet someone else in time. This kind of thinking can lead to taking simple steps, like inviting a friend out for coffee, getting involved in a group that shares a hobby or activity you enjoy, or starting a conversation with someone new. After a while, with enough practice both thinking and doing, people can start to feel better and worry less. CBT helps people with depression, anxiety, panic attacks, hard relationships, and many other problems. It's typically used by mental health professionals in therapy, individually, or with groups of people. There are also lots of books available that help people work on their thinking and the thing to do that helps them start to feel better, no matter what the problem.
Sometimes relationships are hard, but we learned better ways to talk to each other, and we're having fun again.
Sometimes I still feel stress and I get worried, but it makes so much more sense to me now. I know what to do to get through it.
My depression is a lot better. I still have to practice some things, but I feel like myself again.
Depression, anxiety, and other problems don't have to last a lifetime. Cognitive behavioral therapy can help someone work through a problem pretty quickly. People can change their thinking, change their actions, and change their lives.
So if you are going to go under treatment with CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, of course, you would want to see a licensed therapist or professional, right? So that you can get the treatment that you need. It is definitely nothing to be ashamed of or afraid of. This is a resource you can use that can help you, all right? But if you don't want to go that route, if you choose not to go that route, there are things that you can find, of course, all over the internet that can help. Again, I'm always mentioning the things such as affirmations, right? Journaling, meditation, deep breathing. This may help you. And for some, it may not. And so if this can help you, you choose that you don't want to seek professional help, right, to help you with your seasonal depression, you can definitely try these different options that's available to you for free, right? For free. Simple things you can do is, like I already mentioned, journaling, affirmations, right? Noticing your thoughts and behaviors, right? It's not something that you may even recognize right away. You may not even want to recognize it right away, right? But if you want to get to a better state of getting back to a better state of feeling more of yourself, feeling that more joy and happiness, you may want to consider doing this, right? Either CBT or the journaling, meditation, deep breathing, even yoga, exercise, whatever it is that fits for you. And that's why these things are so important. So the 5 things that you need to make sure that you do is, and I'll go over it again, is getting that much natural sunlight as possible. It's very important, right? Getting your natural vitamin D from the sun. It's important because we know that lack of vitamin D, right, does affect mood. It's one of the things that does affect mood. Okay. Light therapy, right? I already mentioned try getting light therapy, 20 to 30 minutes of light therapy, right? Exercise, getting regularly exercise daily, right? If not daily, at least 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week. Staying socially connected, okay? Staying socially connected with other positive, like-minded individuals who can uplift you, right? And lastly was CBT, right? Considering that, and it's not, again, it is not anything to be ashamed of. It is something that can help you, right? And this is evidence-based. This is done actually with a psychotherapist, but you can do this with people as far as you can do this by yourself if you wanted to, right? Asking yourself questions. Well, how can I manage my thoughts? What happens when a negative thought enters my mind, right? How do you self-direct? You can self-regulate, like, okay, right? I'm thinking this way. I'm feeling this way. What can I do to counteract that, right? And you counteract that with something positive. Now, of course, if you're having feelings and thoughts of suicidal depression, suicidal thoughts, I definitely say seek professional help. Do not be afraid to pick up the phone and reach out for help, right? We cannot be afraid. We cannot sit in silence. We cannot remain silent because we worry about what other people are thinking, right? That is not in our best interest, right? It's not in our best interest. It's not in your best interest to do so. Forget about all of that. Forget about what people will think and what people will say. And believe it or not, you have people just like you who could be feeling the same exact way. Okay. So don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid of it. Speak up, right? Speak up and be encouraged to do something for yourself, right? This is our temple. We need to make sure that we take care of it, right? Mind, body, and spirit. Okay, it's very important. What are some ways, right? What are some other ways that we can pay attention to? How can we pay attention to our bodies? How do we pay attention? Well, again, as I mentioned before, your body will send signals and signs, right? Your emotions. How are you feeling? Are you doing self-check-in? Listen, they have apps on your phone where you can do self-check-ins, right? They have all these different apps. I even have an app on my phone, right? It comes with the phone, right? When I do my walks, when I'm walking, it tells me how many steps I do daily, right? And it also has a check-in on how's my mood, right? How's my mood? What are you feeling today, right? So use these free resources, your apps, use these things to help you, to encourage you and inspire you to being in a comfortable place that is relaxing, that is joyful, pleasant, and does not have you in a place of feeling like you're in a place of darkness. We do not want that. I don't want that. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope that you are taking care of yourselves. I hope that you are staying prayed up, armored up with taking your immune boosters, right? What are some of your immune boosters? Your elderberry, your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your zinc, right? Your ginger. I mentioned that elderberry. I kind of discarded the box, but it's a 5-in-1, right? And I'm taking it myself. So it's 2 pills that you take. I'm going to try it. I like trying different things. And it's 5-in-1. I don't have to buy 5 different supplements, and it's all natural, right? So let's do what we can, as much as we can, for ourselves. We are no good to anyone if we cannot take care of ourselves. We're no good to anyone if we cannot treat ourselves good, if we cannot allow ourselves some grace. How can we be there for other people in a full 100% way? We can't, right? We can't. Something gets lagged, something gets left behind. And our own self-worth, our own health and wellness is on the line. All right. This is a short episode, but I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, bye for now. Oh, one quick thing. Did I talk about my trip to Chicago? I went to Chicago for the weekend, guys. I forgot to mention that. How did I forget that? Okay. Nice trip to Chicago. Spent the day. We took a day ride. My husband and I, another couple. Great. And it's a great getaway. The weather was beautiful this weekend. Actually, what was it? The Chicago Bears were playing, but it was beautiful weather. People were out. We had some deep dish veggie pizza. It was awesome. It was delicious. Healthy salad. Lou Manalti's. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Lou Manalti's pizza. The whole area. I definitely want to go back, spend some time in Chicago. I loved it. All right. I just wanted to share that. Totally forgot. Until next time, guys. Bye for now.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Health Coach for Women with Marsha Roopchand-Walker. If you've enjoyed this episode, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.